There's a new trend currently ruffling the metaphorical feathers of the TikTok art community, causing chaos between artists casually drawing fan art of Jujutsu Kaisen characters and fans of Jujutsu Kaisen themselves, forcing them into this back and forth battle over how these characters are drawn and depicted in these 15-second videos, and casually igniting the flames of outrage on Twitter, the marketplace for art drama and uncontrollable chaos.
Somebody sent me a picture of you. It appears you've been snow bunnied. Somebody sent me a picture because we have a snow bunny watch. We have a national black celebrity snow bunny watch.
I don't know how nobody thinks like me. Like everybody should think like me.
Would you rather be with a Hello Kitty pajamas girl or a goth femboy? Ooh, decisions.
The Nerd Joe and Frat Joe art challenge has swept through the art community on TikTok, blessing us with videos and videos of fan art of Gojo as a fraternity boy and as a nerd, wearing glasses and looking rather nerdy, for a lack of better words to complete my sentence. This art challenge turned trend was brought to life by the JJK fandom on the internet after JJK College Alternate University headcanon started making wave on TikTok, Instagram, and even Tumblr, reimagining JJK characters as college students with stereotypical roles. Characters like quarterback Toji, frat Kuna, and Professor Nanami are among a list of characters that successfully made it into this fictional university. This trend, which stemmed from its predecessor, the Attack on Titan College AU, has also created a large need for fanfic in the community, with fans critically drooling from each side of their moist lips, yearning for fanfic of Frat Joe and Nerd Joe, eagerly eating up any piece of lore they can find. Sharing is caring, but only for a night, by Golden Koryu. You and Nerd Joe, Satoru Gojo, have been childhood best friends and you two attend the same college. Ever since childhood, you and Frat Joe haven't gotten along, ever. It's always been a mess, but at least you have your best friend by your side. It's not like your relationship will be any different once he's deep inside of you, right? Especially, okay, enough. I didn't know that was where this was going. Let's try a different one. How's about this super interesting one from Tumblr user Sixels? A cocky nerd Gojo who has the air knocked from his lungs the second you walk into his physics class on the first day of term. He watches completely awestruck as you walk up and take the only empty seat left, right next to him. The rest of the lecture turns to nothing but a dull buzz in the back of his mind as he spends the remainder of it trying his best not to gawk at the pretty girl beside him. And you were indeed pretty, so much so that cocky nerd Gojo thinks you might be the most attractive girl he'd ever seen. With your perfectly curated style and that shy demeanor, you'd sucked him into your orbit with absolutely no effort at all. Okay. I think I'll stop here for now. You heathens can definitely find this on Tumblr and read the rest of it for yourself. I mean, it's not like I'll do something stupid like copying the link and then leaving it in my description somewhere so easy that you can find it and go and read it for yourself, right? No, of course not. That would be silly of me, wouldn't it? Among the long list of unending fanfic, smut, and other unimaginable words bundled into sentences, the next best piece of fictional material of characters from the JJK AU, which has clearly kept the mouths of the JJK fandom watering, is fan art. Many eye-piercing drawings of Nerd Joe and Frat Joe have gone viral multiple times over across every single social media platform, with people imagining themselves in the same universe as these characters and even starting arguments on the comment sections of these videos, wondering why no one was talking about their favorite character and how janitor Toji is just deadass wrong and uncalled for. Someone even said this trend influenced them to go to a college instead of the public university they were previously admitted to. Imagine switching universities because of an internet trend of characters in a fictional college. TikTok, am I right? And while most of these all seemed good and dandy, some people started noticing a trend with the fan art of most of these characters, which slowly started a downward trend of people freaking out over this drawing challenge. I high-key get turned off when people draw anime characters as white and only keep their original hair and eye color. All their sexiness is immediately gone. 2 million views, by the way. Artists keep changing Gojo's whole appearance to make him look like a white guy even though he's an Asian character. This piece of fan art even made its way onto Twitter in a call-out post questioning why the artist drew them white, which had 4 million views and fanned the flames of outrage all across Twitter about how these characters were being drawn all over TikTok and the rest of the internet. Fan art so revolting, you have me defending Gojo and I don't even like him. Stop whitewashing Asian characters. This is not your weird American dream. Frat boys are not sexy, desirable people. They're horribly racist and misogynistic and nowhere similar to Gojo's character. I've always had the suspicion that most Gojo fans see him as white because this isn't the only time I've seen fan art of him drawn as a white man, and this just confirms it even more. Who the hell is this American ass white man? I said it and I will repeat it every time it's necessary. Stop drawing Asian characters as or with white features. Stop rounding the eyes. Stop making them look like they're American. They have managed to make Satoru Gojo ugly. This person did the impossible. Many other comments on Twitter were all in agreement with OP, wondering why most artists participating in the trend were drawing the characters and giving them Caucasian features and sadly erasing their Asian features in every single iteration of their drawings. People were wondering why it seemed like an impossible task to draw Gojo and then make him look like how an Asian person will look if they were supposedly drawn realistically, and apparently why artists kept on failing over and over again every time when drawing him. Someone tried to explain these artists were drawing him white because that was what they idealized and how they saw him, which made them draw the character as white since apparently that was what they were used to drawing, and leaving their comfort zone was a little too uncomfortable for a simple TikTok challenge. Someone then quoted and shared a tweet from an artist who drew Nerd Joe and Frat Joe and properly gave them Asian features, and literally this is probably one of the best drawings I've seen from this challenge, and I can't even begin to explain just how good this drawing is. We'll need like a 1-minute break just for you to appreciate how good this drawing is. Take a look for yourself. This is the artist's Twitter account, by the way. I'll naturally expect you to go follow them if you want to see more of their fancy art. Now, when I first read tweets complaining about how artists were drawing Nerd Joe and Frat Joe, I was wondering why they were big mad and thought it wasn't that serious. But then placing these two drawings side by side, I think I'm beginning to understand everyone's frustration with people removing their Asian features. You can immediately spot a distinctive difference between both drawings and how each artist portrayed the characters. Without even guessing, you can tell which of them looks more Asian, which neatly sums up how this entire controversy started and why people were angry and calling them out in the first place. Speaking about drawings and art controversies, if you enjoy videos like this talking about drama in the art community on TikTok and other social validation websites, you should subscribe. I post weekly and talk about art, things happening in the art community, and other things of that nature. If that's something you find interesting, just hit that little subscribe button and join the family. As an artist taking commissions, working on projects, or just casually drawing and making art as a part-time hobby, you'll naturally need a lot of storage space and somewhere to store your files and illustrations privately without having your intellectual property viewed, scanned, or used for training AI models by big tech corporations. So I've been taking my time to find a private and encrypted cloud storage service to back up and save my files, and that is precisely where I found Proton Drive, the sponsor of today's video. Proton Drive is an encrypted secure ecosystem offering service protected through end-to-end data encryption by Proton, the world's largest software provider. Proton Drive is private by default, so all your files, drawings, and non-disclosed projects are protected and encrypted, ensuring no one can read or scrape any of your art to train AI or even scan and access your files and photos. not even Proton. And this is very crucial when you want to maintain privacy between you and your clients, and also protect your original work and maintain ownership through encrypted storage. You can store your personal and professional files securely in the cloud and access them from any device without ever sharing your data with advertisers, AI models, or third parties, even when you're collaborating with people on the same project. Proton is one of the top privacy companies built in Europe and is free from big tech surveillance, which means you get secure end-to-end encryption for all your data, and you also get ease of access while enjoying automatic seamless backups and synchronization for files on your desktop and across all your devices. And the best part is you easily have access to your files on every single platform, from Windows to Mac, Android and iOS, and even while you're offline and have no network. If you're ready to take control of your digital life with secure cloud storage from Proton, create an account today and immediately get instant cloud storage for free. All the links will be in the description, and a big thank you to Proton for sponsoring this video. Apparently, a lot of people found these drawings and fan art of Nerdjo and Fratjo pretty problematic, and were leaving comments calling out artists for how they drew them, saying they didn't even realize this was Gojo in the first place if someone didn't leave a comment saying that. If you didn't say it's Satoru Gojo, I would have never noticed. That's a standard square-jawed teenage heartthrob from Netflix movies. The worst part is Nanami already has that more squared off trait, Todo more rounded, so the characters already have a base design. Buddy drew two local frat boys and slapped on white hair and blue eyes and called it Gojo. I hate it when some people draw him looking like a white American boy. He ends up looking like the protagonist of a cringe dark romance movie where the female lead lacks charisma. Now that's a funny one. People with these type of art style never try to draw ethnic features on non-white characters. Like, you guys are lazy cause you got the skills to do so. In my opinion, don't quote me on this since I wasn't there with the artists when they were doing the drawing in the first place, but in my opinion, what I think happened was this artist probably used a reference of two white guys for their drawing and then added white hair and glasses to make them look like Gojo, which is why the drawing ended up looking insanely close to what you would expect when a random white guy does a cosplay of Gojo. I mean, we can clearly see the drawing was obviously referenced, from the shadows, the lighting, the shading on the clothes, even down to their faces and expressions. Now, if we compare that to this drawing, we can clearly see the difference in their appearances and features, assuming the artist used references from Asian people, which explains why it looks so spot on and perfect to begin with. This drawing of Nerdjo and Fratjo, which has been going around on TikTok, is also being side-eyed by the culture police as they scrutinize it for not checking the boxes of how Gojo should be drawn if he were in an actual university. People on TikTok made multiple videos with these drawings asking fans and artists to stop drawing them as white, saying it's not even Gojo in the slightest bit and just a random white boy for the most part. The comment sections are also filled with people who agree these drawings are cute but still do not look like the characters, saying they look like typical American college stereotypes and don't really capture the essence of Gojo, aside from the white hair. Why do none of these Nerdjo and Fratjo art make him look Japanese? They always make him look like the average white boy. Get it right, he's Asian. Nerdjo ain't even a stereotypical nerd. That's just a conventional attractive man with glasses. I mean, isn't that what nerds look like? I'm assuming nerds look like every other person you see. Do they have a certain look to them that I'm not aware of? And maybe I even look like a nerd and I'm not aware of that. Is there something you're trying to tell us, my good sir?
You're not into nerds. You're just into conventionally attractive white men with glasses. There's a difference.
OMG, it's Nerdjo, and it's just a white guy with glasses that happens to be buff. OMG, it's Fratjo, and it's just a white guy that happens to be buff. Being slightly blessed on the muscular side is another issue fans on TikTok apparently have with drawings of Gojo. These said fans are finding it quite difficult swallowing the hard pill of buff Gojo who also happens to be a nerd. Last time I checked, none of these two concepts were specifically exclusive to a certain type of person. Being buff and being a nerd are not polar opposites that cause a chemical reaction when rubbed against one another. A person can be a nerd and also like to pump their muscles up in the gym or in their backyard. There literally is no rule that says nerds cannot be buff or buff people cannot be nerds, despite the way movies and media sadly portray buff people.
Okay, men, quiet down. I have some important news I have to tell you. I got a job. Or that means that I'll be going to work during the day.
Nerd Joe can't be buff. He's overly buff. Nerds are not supposed to be buff. Brother, he's canonically buff, but that's not the point. What does physique have to do with being a nerd or not? Being nerdy and being strong aren't opposite at all. You can totally be both. People complain about anything. Who turned up the heat in here? It's getting kinda hot. Why does bro have super chiseled washboard abs? Like, hello? I mean, I draw hot men as well, but like this is just something else. I think I like this drawing. For obvious reasons. The art style looks like the kind of art in webtoons, and it looks pretty cool for the most part. Gojo also doesn't look too white in this one to me. I never really cared for Gojo, but this might start to change things. I know, right? You're not the only one who came up to this amazing conclusion, buddy. I'm sorry I have to break it to you, but like, look at all the people in the comments all drooling over this drawing. Wow, look at what this person said. I goon to your art, but nobody's going to see this because it's going to be at the bottom. This person has no idea what's happening. We caught you in 4K HD. I mean, this is a really good drawing. I really love the lighting, and I especially enjoy all the drawings where they make it look like the lighting is coming from a flash from the camera. I really enjoy it a lot. This one also tried to keep their features pretty Asian as well, even though they tried to render them to look slightly realistic, especially with the lighting. Now, I wouldn't say they look as Asian as this drawing, but they still look really good. You ate and made them look Asian. Oh my god, it's so majestic, I started crying. Oh, that's quite understandable, fellow internet commenter. I happen to shit myself as well when I see insanely incredible art, but I just don't show it on the internet. So I absolutely feel you. Someone still pointed out they don't really look Asian and just look like a white boy, but I kinda don't really see it, to be honest. But I'll let you guys decide. Does he look like an Asian or a white boy? Let me know down in the comments. I love Frat Joe as much as the next girl, but sometimes I look at the art and think, wow, that is a white man. We have lost the plot only a tad, just a tad. This video also has a lot of people in the comments all agreeing with the poster and explaining why they don't like some of the fan art. Worse is when they use the "what Japanese person has white hair and blue eyes" excuse. Like Yuji doesn't literally have natural pink hair. Like at this point, that's not even Nerd Joe and Frat Joe or any type of Gojo. That's Clavicular and Cookie King. Sometimes all I see is Tom Welling in white hair because it literally is what it is. I genuinely hate how when artists do semi-realistic or plain realism and it's just a white man, like baby he's Japanese. This is also a really good drawing. I love the lighting, I love the forms, although his face looks a little funny, but hey, I'll take it. But as you would expect, there's a comment that literally says people are taking away his Asian, and this has over 6,000 likes, so you can tell people are really taking this seriously. They even started a debate in the comments wondering what Asian features the fans expected artists to draw. What Japanese features do you expect artists to draw when Japanese people have different types of facial structures? It just seems racist to put a look to him when there are so many facial features an Asian can have. He doesn't even look white. For example, he literally has a heavy agosal, if you even know what that is. Agosal. What is that? The small fatty pocket of skin directly under the eyes that become pronounced when smiling, creating a youthful, charming look popular in Korean beauty. Oh. I know what that is. Come on. This is such a non-issue and you guys are legit parasocial. Someone then stated out that the creators didn't even put these features in the first place, so artists weren't necessarily obliged to draw them in their fan art. Other people also started leaving comments telling people to stop telling artists how to draw and complaining about drawings taking away Asian features, saying it wasn't that big of a deal and forcing people to get over themselves and enjoy the drawings for what they are. I honestly don't really see an issue. It's fan art. People make different versions of characters all the time. It doesn't even seem like it has to do with race. It's just making Gojo a frat guy. It's very clear he looks nothing like he actually does in the series. I think people should draw characters that don't even exist however they want and not follow the opinion of some person on Twitter. I think this situation that started off rather simple and fun and as a means for artists to express their deeper hidden lust for drawing their favorite anime character as a hot boy with a summer body has quickly turned into something else entirely, sparking race wars and parasocial debates all over Twitter and TikTok and forcing fans to clash their heads together, fighting for who's right and who's undoubtedly wrong. And while some people are urging the crowd exchanging verbal conflict and trying to de-escalate the situation, telling them to allow artists draw whatever they want, I deeply fear this may start another situation, with people calling it unfair and biased, since whenever a black character is drawn a few shades lighter on Twitter or TikTok, the artist is immediately called out and put on cyber trial in front of the entire art community, forcing them to either acknowledge their mistakes and correct themselves, or sadly leave the internet to get away from all the drama and controversy. This is obviously an interesting situation, a proverbial double-edged sword if you will, and one that will definitely have people calling the situation a double standard, especially if one group is allowed to draw what they want and the other is vilified for it. To keep things fair, if we're going to keep on calling out people for whitewashing characters of one race, we have to keep the same energy and frustration when it happens to characters of other races as well. And if we want to tell artists to just draw what they want since none of this is serious, then that has to carry on across drawings of characters from every other race as well, equally. I think this was a rather interesting art trend. I truly enjoyed all the art I've seen throughout this trend, and it also brought some very fine artists to my attention. But I honestly would love to hear your thoughts about this situation. Do you think artists should draw characters with their proper features, or do you think artists can draw them however they like? I'll be waiting to read all your comments on this. Well, it looks like you've made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like, share the video with a friend who hasn't heard of the Nerd Joe and Frat Joe art challenge, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. With all that being said, I'll see all you pretty penguins in the next video. Bye!